Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down about 0.8% there. On this Nasdaq 1.2%, semiconductor 1.2%, Dow, Russell 2000, transport, banks. These guys are down about close to 1% or so. Energy also did get hit today, 2% negative. Looks like, biotech, healthcare, home builders, these guys are holding up a little bit better. Utilities, only sector with the green print today. Retail down 3%, emerging market down. Bitcoin down quite heavily there, 10%. Gold, silver, miners also did get hit. Dollar down, oil down, treasury bond up. VIX popped a little bit. Let's take a look at S&P 500 ETF. Spider! 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday, and looks like this is where we opened this morning. So we did see that down gap. That's exactly what the bears wanted to see, because we were dealing with that pivot, which we've been tracking this entire week. You can see that prior resistance is potential new support, right? Potential. And we hung around there for an entire day yesterday, but we emphasized the fact that yesterday that my micro-term and the short-term moving averages not letting the buyers advance yesterday. With that pressure, bears were able to bring it down this morning. We did see that down gap. However, I think what is worth, I think bulls did a good job getting up there. As you can see on the second and third hour, did fill that down gap as quickly as possible, just so that that pressure can be stopped. However, when the down gap gets filled, you guys all know that when the gap gets filled, it's going to act as what? Instant resistance. Not only that, we got that short-term moving average right here. That's the kryptonite for the bulls, at least in the last couple days. As you can see, bulls are not able to advance, right? Even last time when bulls did get up, they had to do it with the gap up because of such a presence, the bearish presence, the resistance that is. And you can see last couple of days putting a lot of pressure on the buyers. And so despite the fact that bulls made a little bit of run here on the second and third hour, on that fourth hour, as you can see, we threw that doji right there, right? Dragonfly doji to be exact. And then we got that bearish candle, and we're just right there at 377 today. The bad news is, though, similar to yesterday, the price is below the short term and the micro term at close. Remember, that's what happened yesterday, below the micro term and the short term. And what happened to the price? How did this market open? They opened down because of that pressure from that short term and the micro term. And not to mention, I've been talking about this yesterday, that mid-term moving average continues to decline, telling us that we are in this overall bearish sentiment in the midterm. And now that short term and the micro term is also providing that bearish sentiment, condoning what the midterm moving average is doing. And so now, as of today, things can change, but as of today going into tomorrow, sentiment is still bearish. Should there be any kind of decline tomorrow, we want to keep an eye on 370. That's the gap level right there. We did see that gap on mid-June. And that's going to be the level. 370 is a level for the bulls. This is going to be the must protect level for the buyers if they want to survive the month of July. So that's 370. Should there be any decline going into tomorrow, that's going to be the level, probably going to act as support. If bulls can able to, see some sort of pop, get above the short term and the micro, the first 2 hours of tomorrow morning, there's a good chance that they're going after 385. So again, the levels are pretty clear here. We see above the short term, we'll see 385. We see continuation to the downside, we'll see 370. Let's check out that oscillator. See if we can extract any more information. So that oscillator is pretty strange at this point, because you would think this is kind of like a continuation down move, but that oscillator is actually supporting the buyers. We've seen some strange things happening this year, especially. However, it's quite interesting that I think because what happened was when we saw the gap down and then the gap got filled quickly, somehow, you know, the moving averages, right, and the price action is telling us that there's a bearish sentiment, short term, you know, micro term, and the midterm. The oscillator is telling us it is supporting the buyers as of today, as you can see last time when we saw something like that here. So when we did see that, before we saw that gap up, right here, let's do this. So when we, so I think that here, right there, so you can see, let's say if this is how it closed before the gap up, right? So you can see right here, right? You see that price close at 365. You see that my short, I mean, that's pretty, I mean, that thing is really down, you know, really curling down. I mean, that's just waterfall. Same with my micro term. Very bearish sentiment. This was, when was this? This is middle of June, when things are looking extremely, extremely hectic for the buyers. And this was when, you know, we saw that initial cross and we didn't know what to make of this. This is kind of a same sentiment similar to today where, okay, hey, we got the short term coming down very, very fast. We got the micro term providing that resistance, and bulls are having hard time getting above that. We closed beneath it. But that oscillator is telling us that it's kind of supporting the buyers. And then out of nowhere, we did see that gap up and we did see that initial pop, at least in about a week or so. We have a pretty similar sentiment here, pretty similar setup, but obviously we need to see a follow through or some sort of pop to substantiate this oscillator signal there. So I think at this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's gonna be a pop tomorrow, because you know what? I cannot see the future. But what I'm saying is this. I'm saying that if there's a pop tomorrow, because where the oscillator is already, it is already supporting the buyers. I think if we do see a pop, it's gonna have some strength behind that pop, because that oscillator's telling us that there's some hidden bullishness in that price action. I'll come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening and go train tomorrow.